All right, hi dogs by nature. Welcome back to Rufio's Film Room. Today we're going to be looking at Marquise Gray in the Wildcat. We saw a lot of success with it last week. We only ran it twice. In my opinion, we should run this more often. But for years, it seems like we've been trying to get players like this the ball in space. We've been trying to create opportunities for our former college quarterbacks who can run, who are playmakers, and we really hadn't been able to do it. Notably with Josh Cribbs, we could never figure out, is he a receiver, is he a Wildcat quarterback? We could never really make that sort of thing work. And I think Cribbs' talent when he had the ball in his hands was undeniable. We saw that on kickoff returns and punt returns. We could just never sort of make this Wildcat work for him. So I think two things that the offensive staff in Cleveland are doing now with the option, our option package here, are really, really working. And I don't think Gray is the sort of threat that Cribbs used to be by any means. But I do think just schematically, sort of tactically, what we're doing with the strategy of the game is really benefiting our offense right now. And this is offense without a traditional running game. We really haven't had one. We've been through how many backs? We've picked, 4 backs up off the street this season. We just can't find anyone to really carry the rock for us. And I think it's really hurt our offense. Teams know we're going to pass, and if they shut the pass down, we're kind of out of options. So getting back to our these specific plays, the two things I really think are working are sort of a tempo and the fact that we're actually optioning people now. So on this first play here, I want to talk about tempo first. We see as we break the huddle, this is Jason Campbell down here. And he's sort of just getting set before the snap. And you can see the Chicago Bears here still reacting. Okay? They're still communicating over here. Guy's got his mouthpiece out. Safety's talking, making hand signals. The defensive line is jumping over one another to get set, and we're snapping the ball. Okay? It's not necessarily going up-tempo between plays. We're not necessarily trying to run a play every 15 seconds like you'll see, Oregon or sometimes Ohio State will run this really up-tempo offense. It's the timing of our deployment of formation. Okay, the way the Browns do it, we move the quarterback out and then snap the ball quickly. That's what we're trying to do because the defense obviously is going to have a very different game plan, a very different idea of what might happen with Campbell, under center, in shotgun, somewhere in this part of the formation versus with him out wide. And so what we try to do is catch a defense off guard by moving the quarterback out and then quickly snapping the ball. Okay, we see that Campbell's barely set. In fact, I don't know if he's set at all. This maybe should have been a flag. But that's how quick we're going. Okay, and you see the effect on the defense. The Bears have 2 defensive tackles. They like to play this guy at the 1 technique. This guy likes to play at the 3 technique. It's very common in a sort of Tampa 2 scheme to have your quicker defensive tackle play always at the 3 technique. Well, here's the problem with it. If you have to switch the strength of formation, you've got to switch your people around. And this guy never gets set. Look, does he look like he's in a ready position to you coming off that line? He does not look like that to me. And that is exactly the kind of chaos we're trying to create with this tempo. The result of that, and of course, a good read, good execution by our players, is a big run down into the red zone in a time we really need to make a play. Okay? So here we see, again, the shift. 97's not anywhere close to set, and that's the effect of tempo. Now, the second thing I think we're doing really well is actually letting this guy, this quarterback, we can call him a quarterback, fullback, whatever you want to call him, we're letting the guy that takes a snap make a read, okay? And what that does is it rebalances the numbers in favor of the offense when we're running the ball. So we've got 5 offensive linemen, right? We've got 5 linemen, 1 Greg Little, and we've got 6 here in the box, okay? We also are going to see later in this play, 31 is going to come off the edge as a run support player. So the Bears have 7 guys playing the run. We've got 6 guys to block them. That leaves 1 guy that we can't block. And in a traditional running scheme, you're running downhill into that guy, and you're getting tackled. With this running scheme, with this option scheme, we are able to read one of those defenders and effectively block him. So what that means is, as you can see, as Gray takes the snap, look at where his eyes are. They are right out here on 91. Gray is reading 91, and you see his 91's first motion is widening, right? He takes that step, that lateral step wide. He's going with the running back, and so Gray keeps it. Okay, we're basically making this guy wrong. If he hesitates at all or if he crashes down, Gray's going to give the ball off to 35 to Whitaker there, and Whitaker is going to have a free run. Little's got this guy blocked. Whitaker can run around him. If 91 widens, which he does, Gray is going to keep it and run downhill. Okay, and so what you see is the Bears with one guy. We are ensuring this guy is going to be out of position, and we have a guy to block every other guy that they have to stop the run. Okay? And so if you just want to look at our blocking pattern real quick, you've heard a lot about a power run game with the Cleveland Browns. This is the power O play. Okay? We're going to see the whole line block down, except for Pinkston, who's going to wrap around. He's going to pull, and he's going to come up through the hole and get a block right there. Okay? So you see that, the track of Schwartz, Laval, Mack, they're all sort of downhill. Thomas is going to be downhill here. And then we're wrapping around and getting that nice pull with Pinkston. Okay, so the line does a great job. Those guys that are blocking down are washing their guys out this way. Pinkston's able to get some leverage here and kick this guy out. Gray's got a nice downhill running lane, and he picks up a lot of yardage. Okay, so on that play, we saw both the effects of tempo and of optioning a player, reading a player on the run game, creating the ability for our players with the ball to make plays in space. Now, the other thing we did against the Bears is we saw we got an explosive play out of that option run game. We knew the Bears weren't ready for it. We didn't let them off the hook. We went right back to it. And in my opinion, we should have kept going to this until we got in the end zone. Again, here we see the full motion. Campbell's in the box. He motions out. Look at how many players on the Bears have to move. And I'm going to show you some of the effects of tempo a little bit later. But for now, watch as Campbell motions out and we're snapping it very quickly, right? This quick snap with the quarterback motion out, that's what's creating the chaos on defense and as you see on offense. But going to this play, it's another great run. It's a 10-plus yard run down in the red zone to our own, or to the 2 or 3 yard line going in. And that's awesome. That's what we want, and we haven't been able to generate this type of play on the ground all year. So we're going to see really well from this angle. We run a different blocking scheme this time. We run a different concept. This is inside zone with what's called a slice block on the backside. So sometimes this can be a fullback, it can be a tight end. In this case, it's again going to be Greg Little in the blocking scheme. He's going to dive back across the back of the formation. He's looking for the end man on the line of scrimmage. He's going to kick him out this way. The rest of our line is going to sort of bucket step play side, short little bucket step. They're going to block inside zone. Should be coming straight downhill. But you can see all that line sort of move in unison. Going to the play side, Little's coming across the backside. It's a very common concept in the NFL. Now the issue is, because of tempo, both the offense and the defense screw up. Okay, so we're going to see what should be happening. Laval should block here, Schwartz here. Max should basically be making sure that 98 is not stunning in, and he should be going up to 57. Actually, bring that back. 96. Max should be on a double team with 96 and Pinkston up to 57 here. Because you're going to see, and again, this chaos effect of the motion and the quick snap after the motion is that 96 is originally lined up in a 3 technique, a pass rushing technique out here. He's going to move inside to the 1 right before the snap. Okay, so he's again, we have a defensive tackle who's not set, who doesn't get his hand down, who can't play with leverage because of the tempo. So I think because he ends up inside here at the 1, Max should be with him, and Pinkston up to 57. Regardless, Mac is probably going to be up here getting 57. Okay, Thomas is up here to 50, and then we're leaving 99 in the backside for Little. But you can see, again, the effect of tempo. is we end up with Mac blocking no one, okay? And we're also going to end up with 2 Bears players playing the guy that doesn't have the ball. And this is awesome for the offense. This is that sort of chaos that's created. And even when the offense screws up a little bit, if the defense screws up too, the offense benefits. Okay? Everyone on defense has to do their job. You hear that mantra all the time in the NFL, do your job. And if one guy on the defense screws up on this type of play, it's a big victory for the offense. So that's what that tempo, that sort of chaos is creating, is a net positive effect for the offense. Again, the second point that I've been making this whole time, optioning. We are truly reading a defensive player, and we're making him wrong no matter what. Okay, and that gives us sort of that extra blocker as a read in this scheme. So we can see just with basic arithmetic, if we would have had Mac blocking someone, if we would have blocked this correctly as a team, pretend Mac can warp over here and block 50, we still don't have anyone to really block 99 or 21, right? Little's going to block one of them, but he can only get one. So Little actually blocks 21, and Gray was reading 99, okay? It's the same as the last play. If 99 goes this way, the ball's going out. If 99 stays wide, the ball's going in. And we're just making him wrong no matter what he does. So you can see, again, Gray gets the snap. His eyes are right at that read player off the snap. Read player takes a step inside. Gray's going to pull the ball. We have Bears out of position. We have enough Bears to make the tackle. They are completely fooled. That's great ball handling, a great fake that's carried out both by Whitaker and Gray. And nobody's touching Gray until that deep safety. And he takes him for a little ride on down to the 3. So again, we see here the effects of motion, the effects of actually optioning a defensive player on the Browns running game in the Wildcat. I think it makes us much more successful. I hope we do a lot more of it, and I hope we don't take our foot off the gas next time when we get down the red zone. Thanks for tuning in to Rufio's Film Room.